I've listened to hundreds of audiobooks in my time, so I feel qualified to give you recommendations for some of the best audiobooks in existence. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Starting off with The Favorites by Lane Fargo. In this book, we are following Katarina Shaw, a young ice skater who is aspiring to become one of the greats. And when she meets Heath Rocha, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. In this book, we are getting Katarina's POV, but we are also getting interspliced chapters of a documentary that is being filmed about the ice skating world and Katarina and Heath's downfall. There is a full cast narration, and the documentary-style interviews really enhance the audiobook listening experience. Next up, we have one of the best books of all time, and that is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dar. This is a story that follows a young girl named Aduni who lives in a poor village in Nigeria, and she is sold off to a much older man for marriage. And from there, she experiences trials and tribulations that are truly heartbreaking and difficult to read about. The reason I would recommend the audiobook for this one is because the narrator does an absolutely fantastic job. Her performance is one of the most emotional performances I have ever listened to in any audiobook. And in addition to that, the narrative style of this book really lends itself to a vocal performance. At the beginning of the book, Aduni does not speak very good English, but as the book progresses, she gets better and better, and the language in this book reflects that. So listening to it rather than reading it was an extremely immersive experience. My next audiobook recommendation is going to be None of This Was True by Lisa Jewell. This is a super fun mystery thriller that follows two women. We have Alex, who is a famous podcaster, and Josie, who is a woman that weasels her way onto Alex's podcast with the promise of a very interesting story. But as the story progresses, she ends up tangling herself deeper and deeper into Alex's life in a way that is so unsettling and impossible to stop reading. The podcast elements of this book in particular are what make it such a fantastic audiobook, and this is one where the audiobook really enhances the experience. My final recommendation for this video is going to be A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is the first in the Elements of Cadence duology, and it takes place on a magical island where young girls have suddenly started disappearing. Our two main characters must band together to try and figure out where the girls have gone and bring them home. This book has such a unique magical system and setting that is based on Scottish folklore and myth, and the Scottish accents of the narrators just make this one 10 times better to listen to. Those are some of my favorite audiobooks, but I do want to mention my all-time favorite audiobook narrator, and that is Julia Whalen. I will insert some of her work here. Sometimes I will literally just pick up a book because she narrates it, and if you haven't listened to a book by her yet, I would highly recommend you do so. So those are all of my audiobook recommendations. Hopefully I was able to help you find your next listen.